Hey guys, it's Vanessa and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about the college basics for all of my incoming freshmen. Before I continue this video, make sure to check out my other college videos, how to be successful for your first week of college. I also have many first week of college vlogs and other college related videos. Alright, so let's get started.
That black yo magic, that black yo magic.
When you go to college, you are an adult. You will be treated as an adult. When you come to college, you are no longer going to be spoon-fed. No one's going to babysit you. No one's going to remind you to do this, do that. You come to college, it is business. Your professors will not treat you like a little kid because you are no longer a little kid. No one's going to remind you to do your homework, take care of you and everything. Everything is all up to you. You are your own responsibility. You have to keep yourself accountable to make sure that you get all of your assignments done, to make sure you know when are your exams, when are your assignments due. Nothing is handed to you when you are in college. You get to choose your own classes. You basically make your own schedule. So in high school, middle school, usually you choose your electives and everything, but ultimately the school makes your schedule. In college, you basically have full control on when you want to take your classes. So if you are a morning bird, take morning classes. If you're the type of person you love to sleep in and you would rather take afternoon classes, take afternoon classes. However, there is a limitation to this. When you choose your classes, there will be certain times and certain days that each class will be occurring. When you are a freshman, you usually choose your classes during orientation. The sophomores, juniors, and seniors, we all choose our classes before the freshmen get to choose their classes because you guys have orientation during the summer. However, the university usually do hold spots available for all the freshmen. Personally, when I choose my classes, I like to keep all my classes on the same day so that I can get all my classes out of the way all within the same day. When you choose your professors, I recommend to use Rate My Professor. However, sometimes it could be kind of bias. Usually if a professor, if their class is very difficult, people tend to say really mean things about the professor when really the professor is a good professor. It's just the material is just really hard. You have to put in a lot of work into it. You can also ask upperclassmen and ask some friends about this professor and about taking this course. And here at UF we have Gator evals. So usually towards the end of the semester and also in the middle of the semester, UF they send us emails about filling out a mid-evaluation and a final evaluation about the class itself. And any student can access this information and see what real students have said about this specific professor. Usually the seniors get to choose first, then the juniors, and the sophomores, and the freshmen. So everyone has a different day to choose their classes. And the thing is that there's only one website that all the students have to go on to in order to pick their classes. So the website tends to crash in less than 5 minutes because you have hundreds of students trying to pick their classes all at the same time, which is why it is important whenever it's time to choose your classes to wake up early so that you can choose your classes as soon as possible. And when the website do crash, keep refreshing the website so that once it starts working, you can immediately choose your classes. Also, make sure to have backup classes because it's not guaranteed that you will get all the classes that you need for that semester. Another important thing before you choose your classes is to look at the prerequisites. There are some classes you cannot take until you take a certain class before entering that class level. Usually these prerequisites classes are the foundation for another class, which is why you have to take those classes before continuing. This is why it is important to plan ahead to make sure that you have all the prerequisites in order for you to take the classes that you need to take for your major or classes that you just want to take. Make an Excel sheet for your 4 years or for however years you're going to be at your university. Within this Excel sheet, plan out every single semester with what classes you are going to take. On your university website, you can always search up the major, and within each major webpage, there's usually a critical tracking format or a general schedule format for the classes that you are supposed to take every single semester in order for you to graduate with your degree within a certain amount of time, which is usually 4 years. And by the way, critical tracking just means classes that are mandatory or required for your major in order to graduate with that specific degree. And in order for you to be on track, you must take the critical tracking courses for the recommended semesters. Now, here's the thing about college. Even though when you enter college, you choose a specific major for you to study in, your first 2 years of college is really just your gen educational classes. So basically English, your math, your science, your humanities, your social science, all those classes, you have to take those classes within your first 2 years. So your first 2 years of college, you're not really taking classes that are specific to your major. You're just taking classes that the majority of students have to take at the university. Now, once you reach your junior year of college, that's when you start taking the classes that are specific to your major, and that's kind of when all the fun begins. Usually your first 2 years of college, those are like your weed out classes. Your weed out classes are usually general chemistry, general biology, calculus. But to be honest, every single class I've taken, everyone always says it's a weed out class. Like I would take Gen Chem 1, everyone says it's a weed out class. Once I finally passed Chem 1, I went into Chem 2, everyone says it's a weed out class. Then I get into Orgo 1, everyone says it's a weed out class, and like so on and so forth. Every class I keep taking, everyone says it's a weed out class. So at this point, you just have to be persistent and determined to do well in all of your classes, because apparently every single class is a weed out class. For clarification, weed out classes are basically classes that are really difficult in order to weed out the students who are not, I guess, very determined and persistent in continuing on within the critical track. If you are coming in with credits such as AP, IB, or dual enrollment, you can get away taking the general education classes and going straight into the classes that you need for your major. I ended up getting my Associate of Arts degree when I was a high school senior, so I came into college already with 2 years done, so I came in with 60 credits. However, I still decided to stay for 4 years here at the University of Florida. Not really going to get into details into all that. I'll probably make another video about my freshman year of college, but coming in with credits really does give you an advantage because you get to graduate earlier if you want to, and you also get to start taking more advanced classes. If you do come in with credits, you can always retake a class if you don't feel confident to pick up where you left off, or you can just continue on from where you left off. So in order to be a full-time college student, you have to take at least 12 credits every single semester. For the summer semester, a full-time student is considered to be 6 credits. I recommend, whether or not you have taken college level classes or if you have not taken college level classes, to start off with your first semester with just 12 credits. Even though you have done IB or AP or dual enrollment, university level is very different from the college level or AP level or IB level. Every professor has their own style, their own requirements. Coming to college, it's not even just the difficulty of the classes. You also have to think about the transitioning from being at home to being on your own. In a different city, you are now responsible for yourself. Your parents are not with you to cook for you and do your laundry and like help you out. Like you are on your own. That in itself is also a big transition. So do not stress yourself out your very first semester by taking 15 credits, 16 credits. You are in a brand new environment and you want to give yourself enough time to adjust to all the life changes that are happening to you right now. After your first semester, I would say take 15 to 16 credits every single semester after that in order to avoid taking summer classes. However, I know here at the University of Florida, every student has to take at least one summer semester in order to graduate. When it comes to being graded in college, it's very different from how you were graded in high school. First thing is that an A is not the same across all of the classes at the university. I have been in classes where an A is an 80%, an A is a 93%, an A is an 85%, an A is a 92%. Like it varies by classes. The professors are the ones who come up with the grading scale. Anytime during the semester, they can always adjust the grading scale. That is why it is important to make sure that you read your syllabus and you look at the grading scale for each class so that you know where you stand, because a 90% in a class does not necessarily mean an A. A 90% could be an A minus. I've been in classes that a passing grade was a 50%, like a 50% was a C. Usually the harder the class, the lower the grading scale because of the difficulty of the class. But again, this all depends on the professors or the department. What is a syllabus? A syllabus is basically everything you need to know about the course. The syllabus is basically the Bible for the class. It tells you when all your assignments are due, when are all the exams, what textbooks you need, how to contact the professor. Sometimes the professor will add advice and tips to be successful in a class. It has all the university rules and guidelines and resources. It has everything that you need to know. Before you ask your professor a question, always read the syllabus first, because some professors, if you ask them a question that has already been answered in the syllabus, they will say read the syllabus. So read the syllabus first before you go up to the professor and ask them a question. To help you choose your classes, I recommend to go on Google and search up the course code followed by the name of your university or the name of the professor, and add syllabus at the end. Usually some past syllabus that the professor has used will pop up. Go through the syllabus to have an idea of what that professor demands of you. This can better help you plan for each semester. Take advantage of your first week of college. The first week of college is called syllabus week, and syllabus week, usually a lot of people go party because usually assignments are not really done the first week of school, because the first week of school is also called drop-in add week. The first week of school, that's when you are allowed to drop classes or add any classes without any repercussions. And also when you first sign up for classes and you don't get the class that you want, during drop-in add week, you can keep checking the system to see if anybody has dropped a class that you need. The first week of school is going to be your easiest week of school, so do not let that fool you for the rest of the semester. After the first week of school, that's when things get serious. Yeah, you can go have fun and party, but I recommend to start doing some of the assignments early so that you can kind of be chilling for the next couple of weeks. What are office hours? So office hours is basically a time that your professor designates for students to come up to them and ask them any questions, ask for additional help on certain topics, or to ask for additional explanations on a certain subject. Every single time I give tours here at the university, I always tell the freshmen and the middle school kids, go to office hours. If you don't go to class, at least go to office hours. Like, you should go to class, but you should also make office hours a priority. Your professors are the ones who make the exam. Why wouldn't you go to office hours and ask them questions and advice on how to do well on the exam? This gives you the opportunity to get a heads up on what's going to be on the exam and how to excel on the exam. Also, office hours allows you to build a professional relationship with your professor, because when it comes to medical school or law school or graduate school, even certain organizations here on campus, you're going to need a letter of recommendation. And office hours allows your professor to get to know you a little bit better so that they can write you a great letter of recommendation. What is a TA or GTA, which stands for Teacher Assistant or Graduate Teacher Assistant? So usually the TA or GTA, they are the ones who have already taken the class, and they are basically the professor's assistant. So if the professor is not available, you can always reach out to the GTA or the TA for any additional help or explanations. Sometimes the TA or the GTA, they also teach smaller discussion classes. Some of them are mandatory and some of them are optional. If they're optional, I definitely recommend for you to go, because that's just an extra free resource for you. What makes college pretty difficult is that some of your classes are only dependent on like 3 grades. Like, it will be like your first exam, your midterms, and your finals. Not every class offers homework or little assignments that can help you with your grade. There are some classes, your grade is just how you do on your exams, and that's it. Or there are some classes that your grade in the class is based on 75% of your exam grades, and like your homework grade will be worth like 5% or like 10%, usually 5%. And then you'll probably have many quizzes throughout the week, which usually weighs like 10% or 15%, whatever percent. Sometimes the exams will be cumulative, or sometimes they will be non-cumulative. Cumulative means that every exam builds up on the previous exam. When you reach to exam 2, you may be asked questions that were asked in exam 1. And then when you reach to exam 3, you'll be asked questions on subjects from exam 3, exam 2, and exam 1. Which means that you need to make sure that you are constantly refreshing the materials from the beginning of the semester to the present. Non-cumulative, which is usually everyone's favorite type of exam, the previous exam material is not going to be on the next exam material. But when you study for exam 2, you only need to focus on the chapters for exam 2. But sometimes the individual exams will be non-cumulative, but then once you reach the final exam, it's going to have all of the materials from exams 1 to exam 3 or 4, or how many exams you had that semester. You can switch your majors as many times as you want. The average amount of times that people change their major is about 3 to 4 times. So even though you come into college as a biology major, If you are struggling in chemistry and biology and biochemistry, or like if you sit in a biology class and you just cannot pay attention, it is so boring to you, you are not interested at all, change your major. You're going to go through all of these obstacles and all of this stress just to get a degree that you don't even like. And usually people who are in majors that they don't like, they tend not to do that well because they're not interested in that subject. But once you make that switch to a major that's for you, you start to excel because you are studying something that you are interested in and something that you love. So don't be afraid to change your major, but do make sure that you have enough credits to complete your major, because once you reach a certain amount of credits, you then get charged extra money to continue taking classes at the university per credit hour. By the way, how your tuition works, the total amount of money is the amount of money you have to pay for each credit. So if a class is 3 credits, it's going to be 3 times that amount of money, and that's how much you're paying for one class. And there are some classes they also have class fees, such as labs. You will have labs fees. However, within your tuition, there are hidden student fees. Whenever you go to a school and they say, oh, this is free for all students. Like here at UF, the gym is free. We can ride the buses for free. And there are different like programs and amenities that are free for UF students. However, it's not really free. You basically paid for all of these services without even knowing. Definitely take advantage of all of the free stuff here on campus because you're paying for it. Go to the gym, go to their free fitness classes, because why waste your money? There is more to college than being in Greek life. Whenever freshmen come onto campus, they think that the only way for them to make friends is by joining a fraternity or sorority. That's not true. I didn't do the whole Greek life, and I was able to meet so many people and make so many connections here. Besides Greek life, there's student organizations. Here at UF, we have over 1,000 organizations. And if you don't like any of the organizations that UF has to offer, you can always create your own organization. Joining organizations and getting involved in different programs and activities is one of the best ways that you can meet people and grow as an individual. I would say when joining organizations, try to join 1 to 2 organizations first. If you can balance being a full-time student and being in 1 to 2 organizations, then try to join another club. One of my biggest mistakes is that my freshman year, I had joined 7 organizations, and I ended up not sticking to all 7. I ended up sticking to probably like 1 to 2 at the end because it was just a lot. Do school traditions. One of the main reasons for why I came to the University of Florida is because of all of the UF traditions. Having school spirit and school pride is really fun. Going to the pep rallies, doing the Gator chomp, wearing your UF shirts and everything. Your undergrad years is basically your last year of just having fun and having freedom. Academically, college is more difficult than high school, but socially, I feel like college is like high school, but on a higher level. So you still have your clubs, you still have like your parties and your events and all that stuff. It's just that now we're all adults and there are less limitations for us. So when you are a freshman, at least when I did my orientation, I got this book called the F book. Basically has all of the UF traditions, and by the time you become a senior, you basically make a whole bunch of lifelong memories by participating in all of these school traditions. And when you look back to your undergrad years, you're like, wow, like look at all of this school spirit and school pride, and look at all the fun that I had. What is the dining hall? So the dining hall is kind of like a food court. So when it comes to meal plans, there are different levels of the meal plan. The most expensive meal plan is usually the one that you have unlimited access to the dining hall. The cheaper meal plan, it gives you limited access to the dining hall. When choosing a meal plan, you really have to think, do I really need to spend all this money to have unlimited access? Do I see myself going to the dining hall often, multiple times during the day? Because if you don't see yourself going to the dining hall often, there's no need for you to buy an unlimited meal plan. Really think about it. Once you seal that deal, it is very, very hard to get out of that meal plan. And the meal plan, you pay per semester. The dining hall here at UF is all you can eat. When you go into the dining hall, they either swipe your credit card because you can pay with your own money, or you can use your meal swipes. And it's basically different stations. There's usually a vegan station, there's a food sensitive allergy station, a salad bar, a fruit and yogurt station, there's an ice cream station, dessert station, there's a pizza station. There are many different stations at the dining hall. For some stations, they are self-serving, and other stations, usually the workers will give you the food. And people also go to the dining hall to study as well. UF also has something called a declining balance, which is basically a checkings account that is connected to your student ID. So you can put a certain amount of money into your declining balance, and all you gotta do is swipe your card and money will be taken out from your declining balance. So it's basically like having a debit card. I feel like this is a great way to budget your spending for food. When you go to college, do not search for a relationship. Let the relationship come to you. College is a time that a lot of people, they start to learn more about themselves and they are changing and finding out what they like and what they don't like. People change throughout their 4 years in college. Don't come to college trying to find a man or trying to find a woman. Your main priority in college is your education. Everything else will follow. Wait until the first day of class to buy your textbooks. Sometimes the textbooks may not even be mandatory for the class. I also recommend to ask students who have taken the class in the past if they know any websites to access a textbook for free. Also, go on Google and search up the name of the textbook, free PDF file, because sometimes there are free PDF files online for you to download. I also recommend for you to go on Amazon and to look at other websites to see if they sell the book at a cheaper price than what they have it at the bookstore, because the bookstore can be pricey. What is dropping or withdrawing from a class? Let's say you're taking a class and you're not doing so well, or let's say you have a medical emergency. You can drop from the class. When you drop the class, usually on your transcripts, there will be a W, which means that you withdraw from it. You don't get any credit for it, so you will have to take that class again during a different semester. It's important to not make it a habit to drop a class, because if you start showing a pattern that you keep dropping a class, when it comes to applying to like professional schools, that is a big warning sign that you may not be ready for the graduate level. Also, when you drop a class, you lose your money. When you drop a class, if you have Bright Futures, you have to pay back the money that Bright Futures had paid for that class. If you have any other financial aid, such as a scholarship, depending on that scholarship, you may or may not have to pay back that money. And when you do retake that class during a different semester, you will have to pay that money again for that class. So definitely think it through before you drop a class. Do not go to parties or events alone. Always go with a group of friends and go with people that you trust. Make sure that you are looking out for each other and that you guys are aware of your surroundings. Ladies, I also recommend for you to have protection. Either pepper spray, a taser, something, because you never know when danger may arise. Here at UF, they have a self-defense class. If you search up UFPD, which stands for UF Police Department self-defense class, it will probably pop up, and I definitely recommend to take that class. College dorms are not luxurious. When you move into your college dorm, it's not going to be all pretty and look like a 5-star hotel or resort. Some of these dorms be looking like a jail cell. It looks like that you're in prison, which is why dorm decoration is important in order to spice up the place and make it feel like home. Also, college dorms are not cheap. They are expensive. I feel like you are paying for conveniency. It is cheaper for you to live off campus than living on campus. If you do want to live off campus, I recommend coming to the city or the town of where your university is and start apartment hunting so that you can see how the apartments look like in person and choose the best apartment for you. If you're going to be living on campus, I recommend watching a whole bunch of dorm tour videos so you can kind of see how the interior looks like, and if you can, try to come to the university and go on a dorm tour. College is the time for you to reinvent yourself. For example, in high school, I was like that shy, quiet person, and when I ended up leaving high school and coming to college, I didn't want to be that shy, quiet person anymore. Now, I'm not saying for you to change yourself as a person, like you can still be yourself, but just upgrade yourself. When I came to college, I started putting myself in situations where I am uncomfortable in order to be comfortable and to develop myself. So because I'm a shy person, I tend not to be the first person to talk to somebody or put myself in a situation where I'm the spotlight of attention. But when I came to college, I put myself in those situations in order to grow comfortable, in order to develop my communication skills, my public speaking skills, and my social skills. I give tours to high school and middle school students. I've done presentations at college fairs. I've been able to join many organizations and meet so many people and network with so many different people in different departments. College gives you the opportunity to learn more about yourself, to develop yourself yourself into the person that you want to be. Explore your options. If you don't know what you want to be, or you don't really know like what's your future, college is the perfect opportunity for you to figure that out. Here at UF, you have the option to be an exploratory major, which means that you basically don't declare a major. So you take like different classes to kind of like figure out like what is your interest, and once you find your interest, you then can major into that interest and start planning from there. Even if you already know what you like and what are your interests, it doesn't hurt to try different things. You never know, your interests may change. You may end up finding a different path for you. Take your opportunity to try different things and to explore more about yourself. Advisors. So everyone always say like, don't go to your advisor, don't talk to your advisors are helpless. I feel like it just depends on who your advisor is. Well, I recommend before you go to your advisor to do your own research. Google is free, guys. Once you do your research, go to your advisor and talk about your options. Listen to what they have to say. And if your advisor says one thing, but you personally don't agree with it, you don't have to follow their advice. Yes, your advisors are supposed to like guide you and advise you, but you don't have to take everything 100%, and you can always make your own decisions. You know yourself best. If your advisor is coming up with a plan that you see yourself not being able to excel in, then don't do it. It is good to challenge yourself, but if you truly know that it's just going to be too much for you, listen to your gut and do what's best for you. Once you find an advisor that you like, stick to them throughout your 4 years of college or how many years you are in college. This allows you to build a relationship with your advisor, and your advisor could be another individual who can write you a letter of recommendation. This also helps your advisor to get to know you better and to give you better advice, because when you go meet an advisor for the first time, they don't know you, know your limitation. You are basically a blank card to them. But once you start developing a relationship, they will be able to give you better advice. During your first 2 years of college, most of your classes are going to be in large lecture halls, and you will be surrounded with like hundreds of students. I recommend to sit towards the front because this helps you to like pay attention, and also it allows the professor to like see your face and get to recognize you and get to know you. And it also helps you to be more aware of your surroundings. As you start climbing up the ranks in college, your classes do get smaller and smaller and smaller, especially once you start taking your major specific classes. I'm going to be honest with you guys, no one really cares if you're a freshman. So don't be scared to talk to people and to ask for help. Usually if you ask somebody how to find a class or where this building is located, they will help you. Especially if you end up asking a senior for help, they may end up taking you under their wings and be like a mentor to you. And if you really think about it, the seniors are the one who really knows the campus and have more information about the whole college life than anybody else. Finals week is the most stressful week of every college student. Once classes end, the university will give you a couple of days to study and start preparing for your final exams. Then there's a whole week of just exams. It could be very stressful, but if you plan accordingly and if you keep up with all of your classes, you will be able to survive finals week. Also, studying is a very cool thing to do. Do not be that freshman who goes out every single night to the frat parties, to the clubs, because you have to pay for everything. You pay for your classes, you pay for your meals. So if you end up slacking off, you're going to end up doing poorly in your class. Then you're going to have to retake the class and pay for the class all over again. Don't do that. Be smart, make good choices, and don't cram. Cramming is not worth it. It is not good for your mental health, and it's not going to help you fully grasp the information. Before I end this video, check out my How to Make Friends in College video and College Dorm 101. Alright, so this is the end of my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out my other college related videos. If you have any video ideas that you want me to make, definitely leave a comment down below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on my social media. Thank you guys for all the love and the support, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!